In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a basic worry monster. He's got a large pocket inside his mouth for you to post your child's worry and get it eaten up away. I'm using a cotton blend on this one. I'm going to make a green one with exactly the same yarn. We've got white for the arms, the antennas and the mouth. We need stuffing. I'm going to be using a 3mm hook. I'm going to need a stitch marker and my scissors. So let's get started. So I'm going to be starting with the antennas. So obviously we need to make 2 of these, and we're going to do a magic circle. You go under the first one, bring up the second one, and then you get your tail end and pull it through. Now I need to do 6 single crochets into my magic circle. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now at this point I need to pop my stitch marker in. So that is our round 1. And we're going to pull the tail closed, like so. And we're just going to be working our way up the stem. So we're going to join this one with this next stitch here. So you can always double check which one it is. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is that very small one at the top here. So you want to make sure you get both loops through. And we're going to do another round of single crochets. So there's no increasing at all at the moment. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to take the stitch marker out for this last one. And this is the last one, number 6. So this is row 2. We're going to go and complete up to row 6, doing exactly the same thing, 1 single crochet into every stitch. And I'm going to meet you when you've done row 6. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to pull the tail end here to close this hole up. So don't pull too tight, you don't want it to snap, but you want it closed, like so. So if you'd like to carry on and do your extra rounds, and I will see you at the end of row 6. Okay, I've just finished my row 6 and I'm going to be doing the base section. So we need to work in the back loops only on this one. We're going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 increase all the way around. So the back loop is this one in here. So this is your front loop and this is your back loop. So open it up a bit and you'll be able to see better. So that's our back loop and this side's our front loop. So 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to put 2 single crochets. That's going to be our increase. 1 and 2, and the next one here, 1 single crochet again, and then an increase in our next stitch, so 2 in this one, and then 1 single crochet back loop on the next one. Then we need to remove our stitch marker to put our 2 in this last one here. Make sure I got it all. Yeah, it was all. 1 and 2. Let's just pop our stitch marker back. Got one more row to do. We're going to go straight into row 8, 2 single crochets and then an increase, but we're going to be using both parts, so both loops, so all the way through the whole thing. So we've got 1, 2, and in the third stitch we're going to do an increase, so 2 in this one. I'm going to repeat that all the way around. Two single crochets, so that's 1 in the next one, 1 in the one after, and then an increase of 2 in this next stitch here. And last one, so I've got 1 single crochet, 1 in the next one, and then we're going to remove our stitch marker for our increase. So 2 in that one, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch just to make it look continuous, because we've just done an increase like so. I'll pull some yarn because you're going to need to be able to sew this onto your monster. Obviously you need to make 2 of these. Now I'm just going to push that yarn back down through. And add a tiny bit of stuff in. That way it will stand up better. So there we have our first antenna ready to sew onto our monster once it's made. So go ahead and make your second one and I'll meet you back here. Okay, I've got my 2 antennas. I'm going to go ahead and make the eyes now. So I'm just going to do a simple eye on these ones. Again, we need a magic circle. And inside this magic circle, we are going to do 8 single crochets. So you want it fairly tight. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're going to pull it closed like so. We're just going to join it with a slip stitch. So this is our first one here. Like so. And again, we need a length to be able to sew it onto our monster. And again, make sure you pull the bottom close, but watch you don't snap it. There's our first eye ready to be sewn on. So if you want to carry on and make your second one, I'll meet you back here. So now we're going to go ahead and make the arms. Now I've already made one ahead of you, just so that you've got a better idea as I'm doing it, what it's going to be looking like. So we're going to start off with the fingers. Now you need to do this in 2 stages. So for one arm, you need to start off with a chain of 5. And then on the other arm, you'll need a chain of 6, because the chain of 5 is for the little finger. So it'll all make sense when I get going. So I'm going to start off with a little finger. So I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and then I'm going to slip stitch back down. So you're missing this first one and we're going into the second one. So there's going to be 4 slip stitches coming back down. So the first one's always a difficult one. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when you do the other arm, you're going to be starting with a chain of 6, so that you're starting with your main finger. Otherwise your arms will be back to front. Now we're going to go on to the next finger. So we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, miss this top one. We're going in the second one. So there's 5 slip stitches coming back down. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is number 5. We're going to then go on to our middle finger. Again, it's going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Work our way back down. We need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, we're going to do another chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming back down again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's double check. We're on 4, so now we need to do our last finger. So we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So obviously if you were on your other arm, it would be 5, so that your little finger is at that end. And then we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's that bit done. So now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work our way back along, and you're going to be picking up these front bumps. So we've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, this one, and this one. We're going to do a single crochet in each one. So this is our first one. So we're working on the hand now. So that's 1. We move to our next finger, and this is the stitch we want, this front bump here. 2. The next finger is this one here. 3. This one. 4, and our last finger over here. And then we're going to turn our work. We're going to go back down the other side. So I'm going to keep that up out of the way, that tail end. And then you're going to be finding the ridges on the back of these fingers. So this one, we've got 1 here. Oh, it's hard for me to, let me get a needle or something to show you. So these bumps here along the back. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5 here. So we are going under this one. This is where we started. One. And then again here, if you find it difficult pushing your hook in, I find it easier to put the hook on it and squeeze it up like that. 2. 3. 4, and now for our last finger. 5. So it's at this point I need to pop my stitch marker in, because we're going to be working in the round. So I've classed that one as round 2, because obviously our first round was just the making the fingers. So that's making the base of the hand. Now we're going to go all the way up to row 20, just doing 10 single crochets all the way around. So this is our first stitch here. As you can see, we're going in that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, twist it round a bit, 'When you get past this row, it'll be a lot easier. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and remove the stitch marker for number 10. So that's row 3 complete. I'm going to let you carry on going. You need to stop once you've done row 20 and I'll meet you back there. So I've just finished my 20th row. I am going to sew this across the top, or crochet across the top. So we know we've got 10 stitches in our round, so we need to do 5 going along. So I'm going to pop it in this next stitch, and then you've got to wiggle your way back into the top. Let's have a look, like so. No, that's not quite where I want it. Let's try that one again. There we go. Just going to single a crochet across the top. 1, try and pick the next stitch up, as you can see. 2, 3, 4, I think that's going to be it actually, otherwise it's going to look a bit odd if I put a 5th one in. So we're going to stick with 4, and we're going to leave a bit of yarn. I'm not stuffing the arms because I don't want them to stick outwards. I need them just to flop. So that's that bit done. And then when we get round to making the body, this goes in as you're crocheting. So there's no sewing to be done. So there's our 2 arms. So the next bit we're going to make is the mouth. So we can pop our worry in there. Okay, we're going to get on and make this pocket. So we're going to do a chain of 16. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16, and we're going to be working our way back down the other side now. So we're going to do an increase in the second chain from the hook. So this is our first one, this is our second one. So we're going to do 2 single crochets into this one. Got 1 and 2, and then carry on down. So we're going to do 13 now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. That leaves us 1 left, and in this last one here we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Now we're going to be working our way up the other side of the chain. So we are going to do 13 single crochets back down the other side. So this is our first one here, and I'm going to incorporate this yarn inside the stitches so there's no sewing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to ignore that tail end now, there's plenty that's caught in there. 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, and then we're going to go back to that first stitch here. We put 2 single crochets in to begin with, and we're going to add that third one in like so. And it's at this point I'm going to be adding my stitch marker. So you've got 32 single crochets all the way around. So this is going to be row 2. We're going to pick up every single crochet all the way around. This one's going to be difficult to come in. Come on in. Because it's on a turn. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32 is under my stitch marker. Pop that back in. So that is row 3 complete. You need to keep going. You're going to be working your way up the sides like so, and you need to finish when you've done row 10, and I'll meet you back there. Okay, I've just finished off my 10th row, and I'm just going to join this with a slip stitch and then cut my yarn. So these are all the parts that we need. We can now get on and make our monster. Okay, we're going to start our monster. So we are going to do a slip knot, and we are going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to be doing an increase in the second stitch from the chain. So, which is this one here. 2 single crochets in that one. And then we're going to go 4 single crochets down the chain. That's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. And in the last one, we're going to be doing our 3 single crochets, which is this one here. 1, 2, and 3, all in that same last stitch. And then, much like the pocket, we're going to be working our way back up the other side. So now we need to do 4 single crochets. So we've already used this one, we're going in this next one, and I'm going to be incorporating the tail end here, so there's no sewing in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can do away with that tail end now. And then in this first stitch that we'd put 2 single crochets in, we're going to go back in and do another one. So we've got 3 on each end. That's the end of that round 1. Pop our stitch marker in. And we can go straight into round 2. So we're going to do an increase, and we're going to do it twice. So this is our first stitch, this is our second stitch. So both of those we're going to be putting 2 single crochets in. One, 2 in the first one, and 2 in the second one. And then 4 single crochets down the side, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we need to do our increases up this end, so we're going to be doing in the next 3 stitches an increase. So it's 1, 2 in that one, 2 in the next one, and 2 in the third one. Like that, and then we're going to do 4 single crochets down the other side. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then in this last one, like we did 3 on this side, we need 3 to even it up on this side, so we're going to do an increase in that last one under our stitch marker. So 2 in this one, like so. Oops. Put that back in, and then we're going into round 3. So we're going to do again 3 increases on this one, this end. So we've got this one here, 1 and 2 in that one, 2 in the next one, 2 in the third one, and then that gives us 7 single crochets down the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then we need 3 increases down this end, so 2 in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 2 in this third one, 1, 2, and that will just leave us 7 single crochets down the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7 is under our stitch marker. Right, so okay, row 4, we're going to start with 1 single crochet, because each time we need the top 3 to have an increase in on each end. So 1 single crochet here, and then we're in line for our next 3. We're going to do an increase in all of those. So we've got 1, increase in the next one, and an increase in the third stitch. That moves us up to 10 single crochets down the side. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So we're going to work on these next 3, increase again. 1, 2, 1, 2, and the third one we're going to pop 2 in there. 1, 2. It's just going to leave us 9 single crochets down that side, because the first one we've already done, which makes it up to 10. We've got 1, 2, 3, 8, and number 9 is under our stitch marker. There we go. Okay, we're going to go straight into row 5, so we're going to be doing 3 single crochets, which will take us up to our end. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. Then we need 3 increases around the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, and the third one, 1, 2, which takes us up to 13 single crochets down this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. Now we're up to our 3 increases. 1, 2, 1, 2, and the last one, 1, 2, which should leave us 10 down this side because we've already done the 3 at the beginning. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 is under our stitch marker. There we have it. Now into row 6, we're going to be doing 4 single crochets before those increases at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need our 3 increases. 1, 2 and 3. And then we've got 16 single crochets down this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Now we need our increases at the end, so the next 3 stitches are increases. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and for the third one, 1 and 2. Now we're going to be doing 12 single crochets back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 is under our stitch marker. Straight into row 7. We are going to be starting off with 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then 3 lots of the increases. 1 and 2. The next stitch, 1 and 2, and the third stitch, 1 and 2. Now we need to do 19 along this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. Then our 3 increases. That's the first one, second one, and third one, which will leave us 13 single crochets to finish down this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13 is under our stitch marker. There we go. Now for rows 8 all the way through to row 15, that's the next 8 rows, we're just going to do a single crochet into every stitch. And there's 50 in each round at the moment. So you're not going to want to watch me do the same thing for 8 rows. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you back at the end of row 15. Okay, so for round 16 we're going to be adding the mouth inside, but before I do I'm going to secure this loose end. So we're going to be doing an invisible stitch. So you go miss the one next to it and go through both loops of the following stitch, and then you go back to the stitch that you were at, and we're just going to go through the back loop, and that has created a new stitch on the top. And I'm just going to secure this down some of these back stitches. Like so. And then I'm going to cut both of those ends off, because we know that the other one has already been worked its way through the back of the stitches that we've just done at the bottom here. So that is now ready. So for row 16 we need to start off with 16 single crochets to get it in the place that we need it. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Now we're going to be adding the mouth. So I'm just going to position it behind my work. So you're going to go through your next stitch and you're going to find your first one on here, and we're going to go in the back loops. So I'm going to go in this one here. I'm going to do a single crochet through all of those. That's 1. Find my back loop here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need both of those. 13. A bit of white caught on that one. Let's do that one again. 13. 14. 15. We're going to stop when we've done 16. This is number 16. So that's what we're looking like at the moment. And then we're going to carry on, and we need to do another 18 single crochets, but we're going to leave the mouth as it is now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 is under our stitch marker. There we have it. Now straight into row 17, we're going to start with 16 single crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16, and then we're going to come back to the mouth. We're going to work into the back stitch of this pocket. So we've already used this one up. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not all that stitch, let's go in again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and this one's number 16. And this is where we work back into our normal stitch, which is going to be 18 left to do. So we know that one's been done. The easiest way to do it is count it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I thought it was that one. We're going to come right over here. Now you want to keep this stitch quite tight, because it's joining it all together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 is under our stitch marker. So this is what we have so far. Now for rows 18 to 25, that's the next 8 rows, we have gone back to just doing 1 single crochet into every stitch. So I don't think you want to sit and watch me do another 8 rows of going round. So if you want to carry on, I'm going to meet you at the end of row 25. Okay, in this round, this is row 26, we're going to be attaching the arms. So you want your arms to be obviously at the side of your body. So if you fold it flat, give you a rough idea where you're going. But generally it should be about 9 stitches. So let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So we need 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 to attach our arm. So I'm having the little finger facing forward. So what we need to do is go through the arm first. So we're going to go through this first stitch here. Oops, dropped that one, didn't I? Let's pop that through there. And then the next stitch on your body. I'm going to make sure this one's incorporated so that keeps it nice and tight. So that's the first one, give that a pull. Go into your second stitch on your arm and then the next stitch on your body. So as you can see, it's this one here. I'm going to keep this one behind so that it sews it in for me as I go. Third stitch on the body, on the arm, and then the next one on the body. Again, keep that tail end behind because we're going to secure that as we go. And then the last one on the arm and the next one on the body. So that's your first arm sewn on. I'm going to give that a nice tug and I'm going to carry on. Now I'm looking at doing another 20 stitches and it should line up on the other side. If you find that yours aren't in the middle, make sure you put your arm in the middle and work the stitches around it. As long as you add up to 50 at the end of this row, it doesn't matter. Put it where you see it looks best. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think that's enough of that one. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. Now this is where I want to add my next arm in, and again I'm going to have my little one facing forward that way. If it doesn't matter, you can put them on how you like. So we're going to go through the first stitch on the arm and then we're going to find the next stitch on the body, which is this one here. And make sure I've got this tail end going through so we can sew that in as we go. The next stitch and the next one on the body is this one here. Pull it through both and do your single crochet. And the next one, and the last one, number 4, with the next one on the body. Give this one a tug, and then we're going to carry on hiding that behind our work. There should be 13 stitches left, so let's have a look, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's enough of that one. 12, and number 13 is under my stitch marker. But obviously if yours is slightly different and you needed to move your arms a stitch or two either way, as long as you have got 50 still in your round, it doesn't matter. Do it in whatever formation you need to do it in. So this is what we have so far. The arms are on and the mouth's on. So we are going to carry on, and we're just going to be doing single crochet rounds. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more rounds. So when you get to the end of row 30, that's where I'm going to meet you back. So we're going to do 5 rows of pure single crochet all the way around, and we're just going to make the body slightly longer before we start decreasing. So if you carry on, I'll meet you at the end of row 30. Okay, in this round, this is round 31, we're going to bring it down to 46. So we're going to be doing a decrease on all 4 sides. So we're going to start off with a decrease. So you pick up the front loop of the next 2 stitches. So you've got 3 on your hook. You pull through 2, then yarn over and pull through 2. That is your decrease. Now we're going to go straight into the side. So we're going to do 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to put a decrease in the side. Again, the front loops of the next 2 stitches. Pull through 2 and pull through 2. We're going to work our way along the front now. And on this one we're going to do 12. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that's number 12. So we're going to put another decrease, front loops of the next 2 stitches, yarn over and yarn over. We're going to carry on down to this side. We need 9 at the moment, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, another decrease. There we go, and that should leave us 13 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and our last one is under the stitch marker. That would be number 13. There we go. So this is what we have so far. Pop the mouth back down, and the arms will come down once he's been stuffed. Now for rows 32 through to 40, you've got 46 single crochets in your round at the moment. We are going to be doing single crochet rounds for the next 9 rounds. So we're going to make his legs slightly longer. So if you want to carry on, do 9 rounds, and I will see you once you've reached the end of row 40. Now into row 41, we're going to be working in the back loops for this round. So single crochet in these back loops here, look. So that's the first one. And this is the second one. So you're going to go all the way around, just doing the back loops only. So if you'd like to carry on, I'm going to meet you back under your stitch marker when you get there. Okay, going into round 42, we're going to be using both loops for the rest of the pattern now. And we're going to start off with a decrease. So you want the front 2 loops of the next stitches, like so. Yarn over and pull through. And then we're going to do 10 single crochets after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And we're going to do another decrease because we're slowly closing up this bottom. So we're going into another 10 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another decrease. And then we're going into 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and another decrease. And we should finish up with 9 single crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and number 9 is under our stitch marker. That's that one done for you. Now, as we go into row 43, we're going to be doing 5 single crochets and a decrease, and then we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then a decrease. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 6 times all the way around. It's going to be repeated. So I'll let you carry on and I'll meet you under your stitch marker. Row 40, where are we? 44. We're going to do 4 single crochets and a decrease. And we're going to be slowly working our way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our decrease, so the front 2 loops of the next 2 stitches. So if you want to carry on, 4 single crochets and then a decrease, I'll meet you under your stitch marker. Okay, now before I go any further, I want to be able to stuff my monster now, because it's getting smaller. I've put the stitch marker in, But when I'm doing my stuffing, I always make sure that my working loop is in there as well, because it's so easy for this to be tugged on and you've lost where you are. So I'm going to be adding my stuffing, and as I do, I want to make sure that my mouth is down, so the stuffing will go above that. Push it right up to the head, but again, make sure that the pocket is in the right place. So if you carry on stuffing, I'll meet you after that. Okay, he's all stuffed. I don't put as much in the legs because we're going to be sewing through to make the indent. So now I need to release my stitch. And then we're going to continue with the pattern. So now we're down to 2 single crochets and a decrease all the way around. And if you keep your fingers behind, it's going to stop you dragging your stuffing back through. So we've got 1, 2, and then I'll decrease so the front loops of the next 2 stitches. So if you want to carry on, I'll meet you under your stitch marker. Row 47, down to 1 single crochet before our decrease. So I'll let you carry on. You don't need to watch me do this. We've done it so many times, and I'll meet you under your stitch marker. Row 48 is just a decrease round. Now I'm not going to put any more stuffing in here because once I do the legs, I'm going to be pushing it in to give it a firm base, so we don't really want it overstuffed. So this is just a decrease round. So for every stitch we're decreasing. So you'll have 6 in total. 1, 2, getting difficult to keep my finger in. 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, yeah, 5, and the last one is here and under my stitch marker, so that's 6. Okay, they've got 6 stitches left which we're going to be sewing in, but I need a length of yarn that's going to create the legs, so probably do, you won't need it all, but I don't like being too short. I'm doing about 3 lengths of the body. Just snip that off, pull that one through, and then we are going to thread our needle. And we're going to be picking up these last 6 stitches. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to tug all that through. Going to give it a little bit of a pull, not too much. You don't want to break your yarn at this stage. So that's the bottom secure. Now I'm going to push my needle back up in there, and I want to create my legs. So I'm going to start at the bottom. We're going to work out roughly where the middle is, and we're going to bring our needle back through. I'm going to go with that one. Going to give it a pull, so we can create this indent at the bottom. And then we're literally just going to go upwards to about where the arms are, and you're going to go straight through the stuffing and through the back. Give it a wiggle. It depends on how tough your stuffing is. And we're going to come through again in the middle. You can see we're just creating an indent. So we're going to go up a stitch, and then you want to try and bring it on the one which is the next one along. Give it a little bit of a tug and just keep the tension on it. We're going up one stitch at a time, straight the way through. Try and come out on a stitch to make it even. Give it a tug. Up on the next one. Why is that one caught? Got caught on the stuffing in the middle. It's not, it's got a little knot in it, look. Let's just remove that knot. There we go. Now it should pull through, like so. Up on the next one. Get past that stuffing. And then back down again. Find my next stitch. Fine, it's going to be my last one, I think. I don't want to go much higher. And I'm just going to work my way back down. To make sure all these stitches stay in place. Right, I don't think I want to go any further down. I'm going to hide my yarn through and just put it backwards and forwards a couple of times just to secure it in. I always go away with the stitch. So just pop it up any way you like. That way it gets hidden. And just one more in there. Then I can cut the end off. Give it a little scrunch. So this is what we have so far. Now the next thing to do is to add the eyes and the antennas. Okay, I'm going to pop my antennas on. So I'm going to go evenly either side. I'm just going to pin them into place. sure you're happy with where they are. I think this one needs to come over a bit. That's better. Then we just thread our yarn. And what I generally do is I nick underneath, then I come up a stitch, and then the next one along I go down the stitch. Needles, I should have left a bit more yarn. And then you nick underneath again so you can't see your stitch. Come up the next stitch, down the next one, a little tug, and then go underneath again, just nick a couple of stitches under there just to secure it in. Find your next stitch. So we've done that one, we're going up this one, down the next one, give it a little tug, and again go back underneath it. So you don't want any of your stitches on show. Take a pin out for this one because it's going to get in the way. So we're going up this one, down the next one, give it a little tug, and again go underneath, out the way. Just double check which one I've done that one, so I'm going up this one. Get rid of that pin, that's going to be in my way. Oh, I've lost my yarn now. Let's try that again. Really should leave a longer tail. So we're going up this one, down the next one. Give it a little bit of a tug and then hide your stitch underneath it. And then we're just left with, should be the last two. So it's this one and go back down the first one. Down this one. Give it a tug, and again I'm going to be feeding it backwards and forwards just to tighten it off. Just until we've lost all of this yarn. That should be enough. So there's your first antenna on. I'll let you carry on and do the next one. Now I've got the antennas on. I'm just going to snip the tail end of the eyes because they're going to be in my way. And we're going to thread our needle. We're going to do just the same as we did for the antennas. We're going to work out where we want them. So I'm going to go with there for the first one. So I'm going to go down this stitch and just pick up a stitch behind. Then you're just going to work your way around. So which one did I come down? I came down that one, so I'm going to go up the next one, down the next one, and again we're just going to nick some of the underneath to keep it in place. I'm going to come up this one, down the next one, and nick some of the body underneath. Just keep going all the way around, up and down, and then you don't get to see your stitches. Get it in there. That should be all of it now. Pop that back up there. And then I'm just, like I did with the antennas, just going to hide the yarn, just feed it backwards and forwards so that it catches through the stuffing. Just pop it out like so. Then you can line up your next eye and sew that one on. Okay, so that's our worry monster all finished, and you can write down your little worries and pop them in the mouth to get rid of your worries. So I hope you like the video. Please give it a like, subscribe, maybe share it, and I will see you on the next one.